Hello Stampers, this is Charlene at Wicked Awesome Cards. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I wanted to show you this really cool card that I made using Stampin' Up's Garden in Bloom stamp set, and I created it for a team Stamp It or the Stamp It group blog hop that we had for March. So I want to show you how I made it, and it's really a simple card and it's gorgeous. I love how you can create your own DSP with just some plain stamps and plain cardstock. So here we go. I'm going to give you a list of all of the items that you'll need. So first we're going to start with our base paper. This is the basic black cardstock, and I've cut it at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 and creased it with my bone folder, and that creates our basic A2 card base. Next you're going to need 2 pieces of 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White cardstock, 2 of them, one for the inside and one for the front. You're also going to need a small piece of Whisper White cut at 2 by 3 1/4. Then you're going to need a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock cut at 2 1/4 by 4. For some reason, Daffodil Delight is one of my go-to colors. I find it a beautiful shade of yellow, and it just really pops on this black and white card. You're also going to need a piece of Whisper White Baker's Twine. I cut this around 17 inches or so. Okay, so to save a little time, I've already pre-stamped my front of my card. I took my stamp set Garden of Bloom and just picked out the images that have just the outline, not the leaves, but I've used the flowers, the butterflies, and the bumblebees. And I've stamped them with the black archival ink from Stampin' Up on just this plain piece. And I just randomly stamped them all over. So I think you know how to do that. Then what I did was, while I had the stamps out, I stamped the inside of the card, and I used one of the sentiments from the stamp set that says, "Because that's just what you are." I stamped one of the bigger flowers on the corner and the bumblebee kind of flying in. What I'm going to do on the inside, just to finish off this card, is kind of color in the bumblebee. So in this stamp set, you get the bumblebee outside image, and then you also get a little splatter that kind of watercolors in the inside of the bumblebee. So that's what I'm using. I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight ink and ink up the stamp and just stamp right in the middle of the bumblebee. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's meant for a watercolor look. So there's the inside of the card already done. Pretty easy. I'm going to put these aside now and tackle my focal piece. I'll bring the card back in that we're going to make, and I want to tackle the focal piece right here. So bringing in my Whisper White, and I'm going to bring in my solid image or outlined image and my basic black archival ink, and just stamp this image towards the top of this piece of paper. Hold on, I forgot to get my foam mat. So here we go. The foam mat kind of helps out on these photopolymer stamps because there is no piece of foam like in the regular red rubber stamps. So I always like to use a foam mat just to give my stamp something more solid to stick to. So I'm just going to crook it at a little bit of an angle, stamp down. I like to hold my stamps down just for a few seconds to make sure the ink really gets into the paper. Great. I'm going to come in with the watercolored inside section of this flower and some Daffodil Delight ink and fill in the center with the Daffodil Delight ink. Pretty. I really wanted something in the center of this flower because the watercolor doesn't fill it in all the way. So I grabbed some Hello Honey, which is just a little bit of a darker shade of yellow, and I brought in that little filled in image from the bumblebee. So now I'm going to stamp that right in the middle of the flower. I believe there is a center of the flower fill-in stamp somewhere in this set. It might be this one. I'm not sure, but I used the bumblebee one. I don't know. It looks okay. I'm going to bring in my sentiment, which says, "Hope you're feeling special today," and stamp it right below this flower with the black archival ink. I want to leave enough space down the bottom so that I can tie my baker's twine. There we go. All right, let's close up these ink pads and grab the baker's twine. Just going to take this piece, wrap it around the bottom. I believe I wrapped it around just about 3 times. Tie a little knot. Then I'm trimming the edges of my knot, and we're all set. I'm going to grab a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals and pop it up on the piece of Daffodil Delight that I previously cut. Great. I'm almost done. Here is the bee image, and I'm just going to use my basic black stamping pad, archival pad again, and on a scrap piece of paper I'm just going to stamp the bee and fussy cut it out. And to save a little time on this, and through the magic of YouTube, I've actually already done that. And I also filled in the middle with that fill-in stamp using the Daffodil Delight ink also. And I have a dimensional on the back, so it's ready to go. Okay, so let's assemble our card. Here's our card base. And here is our homemade DSP. I really love this technique. You can use any color with this. Pinks and blues and greens and yellows and purples. They all will be perfect on this card. So I've got some fast fuse here just because it's handy next to me. Normally I would probably use a little Tombow on this. Center it as best you can on the center of the base. And then I'm just going to do the same, put some more fast fuse on the back of the focal image. And I have that a little bit towards the right here. Perfect. All I'm going to do now is bring in my pre-stamped and cut image here and put the little bumblebee hitting the flower. I think this card is beautiful. Here's the inside of the card. Whenever I put the inside of the card on, I always just put a small strip or a small line of Tombow at the top. I really like the way that the card looks when you open it and it's loose at the bottom. I don't know, it's just my preference, I guess. I'm going to bring in the Wink of Stella now because that's my new favorite tool, and just kind of glitter this up a little. I feel lately, since the Wink of Stella pen came out, just about every card I do now has Wink of Stella on it. So I'm addicted. Love it. And that's it. This card is finished, inside and out. I also created an envelope to match. I can't wait to send this card to someone. I just think it is so elegant. And I'll show you how I created this envelope, just decorating the flap. All I did after that was take a Whisper White envelope, A2 size envelope, and again I used my outline stamps with the archival ink and stamped randomly just on the flap, and then colored in just the bumblebee with the Daffodil Delight ink and that inside stamp. So altogether, I think this is a pretty awesome set. Oh, I forgot one thing. I did also, in the middle of these flowers, add a little basic rhinestone. It kind of just brings a little bling to the card. Anywhere where you can see the center of the circle, the center of the flower, that's where I put. So 3, 4, however many you end up having on your card. Perfect. This card is really pretty, and it's very, very easy to do. So don't forget, if you'd like to create this card, the annual catalog is good now until I believe it's June 3rd. After that, we'll be having a new catalog come out with some new awesome stamp sets. But you're not always guaranteed that all the stamp sets will continue on to the next one. So if you really like this stamp set, now's the time to buy, and especially until March 31st, it's Celebration. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you like this card. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.